Lori and Mark, the city of Seattle has been widely criticized for its handling of repeat offenders and how that may impact the homelessness crisis. But this new video shows a Yakima County corrections officer releasing offenders underneath I-5 on city streets. This is the video taken back on April the 8th, which shows the corrections officer unlocking the handcuffs on not one, not two, but three different people. This is in the area near 5th and James, right underneath I-5 in downtown Seattle. The State Department of Corrections says it was surprised and concerned after receiving the video because this is not standard operating procedure. DOC Director Steve Sinclair wrote a letter dated April 12th identifying the employee as a member of the Yakima County Sheriff's Office and that the people who violated terms of their parole are normally supposed to be returned to state or county custody, not released in a parking lot. Durkan wrote Sinclair today, the 19th, in stern language. The Yakima County employee released the people without any apparent support services and that individuals should not simply be dropped on a street in Seattle, whether by the courthouse or under the freeway. Durkan writes, quote, "The failure of the system to provide successful reentry has numerous consequences," unquote. A Yakima County Sheriff's spokesperson told me today the Corrections Department is a separate entity and they would have to speak for themselves. A spokesperson referred all questions to the Yakima County Corrections Director, who did not immediately respond to an email or call for comment. That's the story for now. In the King 5 newsroom, I'm Chris Daniels, King 5 News.